Hey, good afternoon, everyone. My name is David Wicks. I'm Vice President of Listings here at Nasdaq. Welcome to Times Square, New York, for another episode of Behind the Bell. Joining us is an amazing company called Adaptive Biotechnologies, and joining me is co-founder and CEO Chad Robbins. Chad, welcome.
Thank you, David. I appreciate you having me here.
Chad, this is a hugely busy day. So not only coming off the roadshow, pricing your IPO, you were on Squawk this morning. You opened the Nasdaq market. You opened the stock. The stock is up 100% almost. How do you feel?
I feel great. I feel great. A little bit tired, but it's been an amazing experience
and an amazing journey for the company. So tell the viewers a little bit about Adaptive, because you guys are in a really unique space with immunotherapies.
Yeah. So your adaptive immune system is a system, and it detects and treats almost all diseases in the exact same way. And what we've done is we've developed a suite of technologies that enables us to tap into this information to be able to create clinical products both to diagnose and to treat disease.
And you have various partners, both on the healthcare biotech side, but you also have Microsoft as a partner, which is so cool.
Yeah.
And can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, absolutely. Microsoft's been an incredible partner. What we're trying to do is map the human adaptive immune system, or what we call the immunome.
Yep.
And we have chemistry and informatics that starts to fill in the map. But Microsoft, on top of that, is layering on top machine learning capabilities that allows us to expand that map exponentially. And then once we have that map in place, we can use that map as a reference point, or call it like a VLOOKUP table in Excel, where we now can just extract information from a patient's blood and look at their immune receptors and reference that map and reverse diagnose disease from your immune system. And that's the goal, where we can potentially not look at one disease at a time, but because of your immune system is a system, we can look at many diseases all at the same time, just by looking at disease like your immune system does.
And like our immune systems, your system is different than my system, right? I mean, we don't share the same.
Yeah, there are actually maybe a couple percent of overlap, but there's actually trillions of receptors in the population. So the vast majority of our immune system is entirely different.
Yeah.
And really, that's the power of our technology, is that we have just the throughput and scale to be able to read the genetics, the DNA of your immune system.
That's so amazing. You're working on a lot of different things at the company. Can you talk about maybe some of the projects that most excite you, and kind of you look at and you're like, wow, this is where I see us going and heading?
Yeah, so I'll give you three examples. One, I mentioned the Microsoft collaboration, which we think has the potential to be the biggest of all of them, in the sense that we can diagnose many, many diseases all at the same time through a blood test. We also have a partnership with Genentech in cell therapy, where we're attacking cancer in a novel paradigm, where we're treating each patient's cancer as a unique and specific disease, which it actually is.
Yeah.
We're in real time. The goal is to create a personalized therapy where we're looking at the immune response to that specific patient's tumor, and looking at those immune receptors, and then having Genentech deliver that back to the patient via a cellular therapeutic product.
Yeah. And this is not just about cancer. You're also, from what I understand, involved with trials with celiac disease and things.
Yeah, going back to the Microsoft, when we're talking about diagnostics, because your immune system diagnoses all diseases in the same way, your immune system doesn't care whether it's a cancer, an infectious disease, or an autoimmune disorder. So actually, in that partnership for Microsoft, we're actually looking at first starting with infectious diseases and certain autoimmune disorders.
Yeah. That's so cool. The industry is, I would say in biotech, it's relatively new.
Yeah.
How do you see it evolving, and how do you see it changing over the kind of next 5 to 10 years?
Yeah, sure. That's a great question. To put this into context, think of the first wave of genomics as all about the hardware or the sequencing instrumentation. But the next wave is all about not the hardware, but it's about the clinical application, or what we'll call content. It's how do you make these machines useful for doctors to make clinical decisions on their patients, or how do you use these machines to enable drug companies, therapeutic companies, to better expedite the development of drugs, or to reduce the cost. And so when you look at the immune system, we are the largest applications of this new wave of clinical genomics.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of parallels to the computer industry, where it started with the hardware, but then Microsoft came along,
the software.
right? And the applications and that made computers accessible, kind of what wound up kind of driving the explosion in the industry.
Yeah, and even then you've got the AI and, you know, kind of the next step in computing. So it's truly a remarkable space, and you certainly being a leader in that. You know, the company was founded, it seems like such a short time ago, 10 years. It might not seem that short to you.
Dog years.
Dog years. So it was founded 70 dog years.
Yeah.
But it is a relatively short period. And, you know, this is such a great milestone to be, you know, a public company now and enter a new phase. What is the listing on Nasdaq mean to the company and mean to you personally as co-founder?
So, to me, it's just the next step of the company's evolution, a great milestone for sure.
Yeah.
And it also allows us to readily access public market capital to prosecute these massive pipeline of opportunities we have in front of us in an expedited fashion. That's really what it really means to us. But at the end of the day, if we're doing our jobs and we're creating diagnostics that can better diagnose patients' diseases and potentially new therapeutics, you know, the stock will take care of itself.
Yeah, well, it's certainly, I always like to say being a public company is like a marathon, not a sprint, but you've sprinted out. So congratulations.
Thank you.
So Chad, can we switch gears a little bit? I want to take the Adaptive Biotechnologies hat off and let our viewers know a little bit about you as a person. So I promise nothing's going to embarrass us. But I assume you have an iPhone or an Android device?
I have an iPhone.
What's your favorite app?
My favorite app right now.
And it can't be Adaptive Biotech.
Actually, we gotta work on our app. My favorite app, honestly, is CNN. I'm addicted to it.
Really? That's awesome. So I tend to drive quickly, and I found Waze as my partner in crime. So
Yeah, I also use that. Uber, I use quite a bit too.
Yeah. But so obviously, as a co-founder and someone who, you know, we were talking earlier, you know, you've dedicated so much of your time to this company and building it. Where can we find you when you're not working?
I love to be outdoors. I love to hike. I like to ski. I like to jump in the lake.
Nice.
Yeah. And I do want to say one thing that's serendipitous. Today, the day that we listed or that we started trading, is my wife and my 20th anniversary.
And what's her name?
Christy.
Christy.
So happy anniversary.
Happy anniversary.
I love you, baby.
That's awesome. What a great anniversary present.
Yeah, it's amazing. She's been an amazing partner.
And everyone needs that. So that's awesome that you have that. And Chad, last question. As you look back at your career, is there any advice or anything that someone said to you that kind of you still remember today and you kind of live by, as far as, you know, a principle? Or
do what you're passionate about and everything else will follow, number one. And number two is A talent recruits A talent, and B talent recruits C talent. So get the best people that you can get. And one of the most important parts of my job is to develop the culture at Adaptive and to get the best people in. We have an incredibly mission-driven culture. So when people ask about the stock, yes, today's an exciting day, but at the end of the day, people are at Adaptive for a reason, and that's to change medicine.
Yeah, that's great advice and great insight, and certainly a great culture to foster. So, Chad, congratulations on the IPO.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for being part of our family. And for all you viewers, thank you for joining us for this exciting episode of Behind the Bell with Chad Robbins, the founder and CEO of Adaptive Biotechnologies.